This is Clarinetland, probably one of the weirdest places in Spongebob. This place is shown in the episode Squidward and Clarinetland. The episode starts off really weird, with Squidward actually being happy, even though he just got shot in dirt in his eyes. Okay, wait a moment, this isn't Squidward I remember. When Squidward walks into the Krusty Krab, we can hear her singing la 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 until SpongeBob slams the door on him. But no, Squidward's still happy. Even when Mr. Krabs scrubs his claws on the chalkboard that bothers everybody else, Squidward's still happy. Mr. Krabs actually makes a comment about this, making a joke about Squidward have receiving some decorative soap in mail. And after I made some research, I actually found out that soap is toxic to fish, which could be Mr. Krabs thinking he's intoxicated or on drugs. But no, Squidward reveals that he's happy because he has a clarinet practice after work. Ah, freak, I thought my idea was much better. But okay. Then a baby comes and squirts his entire bottle of milk on Squidward's case. But it's okay, his clarinet is safe. And when he opens to show it, the babe accidentally drools all over the clarinet. And Squidward loses it. Now we get the Squidward that I remember. I don't know, but there's actually something satisfying with seeing Squidward mad. I mean, that's his character after all. So he goes to complain to Mr. Krabs. First, Mr. Krabs doesn't want to give us something. But then Squidward takes out the rulebook and Mr. Krabs finally gives in. He gives Squidward a safe place to put his things. And I mean, this thing's dirty. And for some reason, there's also a skeleton in there. I mean, could Mr. Krabs secretly be crazy? I think Mr. Krabs' lore is so interesting, but for some reason it's so brushed off. Later we can see SpongeBob brushing the safe and all this dust shows up and Squidward actually inhales it. Remember this because this will be important later. Then they put their items in the safe. Squidward puts his clarinet and SpongeBob decides to put his toothbrush. And I mean, later Squidward can actually hear SpongeBob work on the safe and he gets nervous. But when Squidward arrives there, he can see that SpongeBob has installed pink walls in the safe. Later we can actually see SpongeBob arriving with all of these gears, and Squidward actually gets really nervous this time. And this part's actually crazy. When Squidward goes to check on the safe and opens it and goes inside, there's a whole room of drawers in there. How is that even possible? But it's okay because Squidward's clarinet is actually safe in one of the drawers. But later Squidward actually hears SpongeBob working in the safe once again and he gets nervous. He goes to check out what he's doing to the safe, but when he gets in the safe's even bigger. And the clarinet is no longer there. There's only a note saying to go to another drawer. And once there he only finds another note saying to go to another drawer. So he decides to walk deeper into the safe. That's when he sees SpongeBob laughing. And for some reason this is actually scary. I would never think that I would call SpongeBob scary. When Squidward follows SpongeBob, he goes through a little hole and finds himself on a scene. Everybody, I welcome you to Clarinetland. Squidward proceeds to walk in Clarinetland in hopes of finding SpongeBob. And he does, but SpongeBob just creepily runs away and Squidward decides to follow him. Can I just tell you how creepy SpongeBob really is in this episode? But when Squidward decides to follow, he accidentally runs into an eagle head. What? This eagle head is apparently the keeper of the Hornet Forest. He tells SpongeBob that every clarinet deserves to be free. But apparently he upsets the eagle head, so the eagle head just swallows Squidward. On his way now down to the eagle head's stomach, he meets SpongeBob, and he's still standing there creepy as fuck. Squidward now tackles SpongeBob and they fall down into this weird mirror room. But SpongeBob disappears and Squidward sees his own reflections blowing the clarinet at him, which is really scary. Then he runs after SpongeBob on a giant clarinet until they both fall into it and shot into a pinball machine that Patrick wins Squidward as a prize. What is happening? Then SpongeBob shows up again and Squidward gets vacuumed up and the vacuum cleaner just explodes and sending him out to space. When Squidward finally catches SpongeBob, we can see him sit in the locker all cracked out of his mind. Then Squidward asks SpongeBob where his clarinet is and SpongeBob reveals that he has held onto it all this time because it was safe there. This of course makes Squidward really angry, so he throws SpongeBob inside of the locker and locks it up and throws it into a bus that's apparently going too far away. Then Squidward arrives to his clarinet audition, but when he opens his clarinet case, we can clearly see that SpongeBob's in there. Wait, what? But SpongeBob needs to be able to teleport because a few seconds ago he was on the bus and now he's in his clarinet case. How is that possible? I really think this episode is really weird, but not in a bad way, in a good way, a good weird. There's been many theories surrounding this episode, and at first I thought it was the joke that Mr. Krabs did about him doing drugs, but clearly it wasn't because he told him that he was happy because of their Sido. But we do watch when Squidward inhales the dust from the locker, and almost immediately after that, we see weird things start to happen. And I know that dust isn't drugs, but this was a marine locker and we don't really know what kind of old fungus is in there. And of course these are theories and many of them doesn't make sense, so you know. But I really enjoyed this episode, the vibe and the weirdness. This is certainly one of the most weird Spongebob episodes out there. And with that said, thanks for watching this video and I will see you in my next one.